By far one of the hardest achievements currently in the game. This requires you to finish the simulated universe swarm disaster run with 80 on the countdown timer while running the path of abundance. Honestly, with how difficult this achievement is to obtain, this video is more of a proof that it can be done as opposed to an actual guide on how to do it. I'll run you through the methodology required to achieve this, but the amount of luck that's required is astronomical, to the point where even I, an achievement hunter, would say that it's probably not worth target farming until changes are made, if any. That said, the StarDB Completionist Discord is home to some of the world's best achievement hunters, and it just so happens that one of us has managed to get this done. And thankfully, he's kindly shared the footage with me to share with you all today. And so on screen right now, there it is, stepping into the final boss fight with exactly 80 on the counter. And so now that we know that it's possible, let's see what kind of stars need to align to make this happen. So this achievement is going to be built around these two die rolls. The golden one, which immediately applies Mercy to a domain adjacent to one that already has Mercy, is going to be responsible for covering our maps with Mercy tiles, and then the purple one will be responsible for giving us a huge injection of points once our field has been sufficiently prepped. So we're essentially going to be utilizing compound interest to build our counter. If you're aware of the old folktale about the mathematician who asked for 1 grain of rice on the first square of his chessboard, and then 2 on the second, and then 4 on the third, by the time it reached the 64th square, it was the equivalent to 18 quintillion rice grains. Now we're not going to go to that length, but we do need to be incredibly lucky by chaining a bunch of these gold dies right at the start of our second plane for us to even stand a chance. So I'm just going to show on screen here a theoretical run to show you how long it takes to build up a field of Mercy tiles, just to visualize how an optimal run could go. So plane 2 will start with 2 Mercy tiles. If we get lucky enough and get a gold die on our first move, that creates an additional 2 Mercy tiles for a total of 4. We typically will need to sacrifice some points early on, losing 3 per move in the hopes of making it back later. Now, on an optimal run, we're going to need another gold die right after, so the sooner you're getting the gold dies, the better, as you lose tiles every time you move, which reduces the overall possible tiles on the field to give you points. So getting 3 to 4 gold dies in a row right at the start is almost essential for this to work. So you can see here that with our second gold die, we take it from 4 Mercy tiles to 8, losing another 3 points in the process. And then moving on once again, another gold die on our third move will bring those Mercy tiles up from 8 to 16. And then for this particular example, I mapped out a 4th gold die, though depending on where your initial Mercy tiles were located and where the adjacent ones ended up spawning, you might be able to get away with just 3 gold dies in a row. But we can see here now that we're at a point where we've propagated Mercy tiles all across our map, so now it's time to farm those points. So this is where our purple dies come in. Optimally, you're going to want to get these purple dies as soon as you finish covering the map with Mercy tiles. The more turns that pass, the more points you're going to lose. So you can see here that at this point we get 17 points from a single purple die. Then our following purple die on our next turn grants us 15, and then 13 on the third. And so on and so forth. Bear in mind that at this stage, every tile that you step on will also give you 1 point. If you're lucky enough, you may just break 80 points right here and now. However, the goal will be to reach plane 3 with at least 75 points, which is the minimum score required to start plane 3 that could still end in a victory. And so here are just a couple of examples of what you can expect your map to look like if you did a good job propagating your Mercy tiles early on. So that's the gist of it really. The one thing that you do need to keep in mind for plane 3 is that it does not start with any Mercy tiles, which means that if you enter plane 3 and you can't afford to lose any points, you're going to need to make sure that you're able to drop some back-to-back blue dies to create a Mercy walkway to the boss. So yeah, what are your thoughts on this achievement? Will you be attempting it? Are you lucky enough to get back-to-back dies that are required? Well, if you are, I wish you good luck.